Hey guys, and thanks for joining me on my first Wedding Tip Wednesday. Tonight I'm actually going to give you 2 tips, just because it's our first night together, if you will. The first 2 tips that I'm going to give you should be done prior to the wedding, 12 to 18 months. So the first thing is drafting your guest list. This kind of ties into, well, I guess I'm going to give you 3 tips because it's a little bit of a twofer. So creating a budget. That kind of goes hand in hand with creating your guest list. Once you create your budget, you can also then figure out how many guests you can actually invite. So for me, we created our budget first, and we actually took 2 years and saved up for our wedding because we knew what we wanted, and we wanted to invite everyone. So that's one thing. Also, when I was creating my guest list, if I hadn't seen the person face-to-face in a year, Facebook didn't count, sorry guys. I wasn't inviting them to the wedding. We were paying for it ourselves, which I find, again, who's paying for the wedding? Ties in with the budget. Are you paying for the wedding? Are you paying for the wedding? Are you paying for the wedding? So once you kind of gather who is actually gonna help, are your parents gonna help? I find that a lot of my LGBTQ couples are paying for the weddings themselves, and that was the case in my scenario with my husband and myself. So definitely restricting our guest list was part of the whole process. We had to keep to our budget. The next thing is creating your guest list again. It allows your parents to have a say if they are helping pay for the wedding. So they get to allow, their guest list of however many people they want to add. I have couples that come in all the time and say, well, this is our guest list, and then my parents just added an additional, 50 people. So make sure that when you are creating your guest list, I suggest doing it in a Google Doc, something that all family members can access who are having a say or input in your guest list. If your parents are not paying, then you can tell them that they really don't have a say in the guest list. Again, this is just my opinion. Although we paid for the wedding, my dad still was able to get a few of his friends on the guest list somehow. Anyways, my second tip for tonight is, well, it's still part of your Google Docs spreadsheet. Some people will create an A and a B list. And my thoughts on this are you have to be strategic about this because the people on the A list, if they know someone on the B list and they say, hey, I just got my invitation, and the person on the B list hasn't gotten theirs yet because you know how an A and B list works. You have your first list of the prime invites and then a B list of guests who will fill in as your first A list, starts to RSVP no, then you fill in with the B list. However, again, you have to be careful with this because you don't want to have guests talking and then, they find out that they were kind of on the B list possibly because they got their invitation a week later. Just a suggestion. Other than that, there should be only one version of your guest list. Again, going back to that going back to that Google Docs. It just helps mainstream everything and just having one guest list instead of multiple versions of the guest list floating around. That way, no one's getting missed. And my second tip for tonight is an engagement party. Is this necessary? Is it not necessary? If someone offers to throw you an engagement party, yes, take them up on it. You'll have a good time, I'm sure. However, if you guys are considering, throwing yourselves one, again, making sure that that's in your budget, and if you really want to do it slick, if anyone is possibly getting engaged soon, you could just have a party and then propose at the party, and then you just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Everyone knows you're engaged, plus you just had an engagement party. Mic drop. So anyways, those are my 2 tips for tonight. Come back to me and see me next Wednesday again for a couple more tips on how to plan your wedding. All right, see you guys then.